I can still see my screen, right? You all?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
So we're supposed to start from July 20.
July,
Abhirama arrived.
July 20. Yeah. Anybody, any devotee would like to read? Okay, if not, I will proceed ahead. Uh, July 20. Abhiram arrived and reported to Srila Prabhupada about Mayapur. There was nothing new in this report. Later, Srila Prabhupada inquired from Tamal Krishna why Abhiram had come. Tamal Krishna explained that Abhiram had decided to take up business but was undecided which city to work in, perhaps Bangalore or Bombay. Later, after Srila Prabhupada had retired for the night and was laying in bed under his mosquito bed net, he again called for Tamal Krishna. Prabhupada was concerned that Abhiram not drift away from the Krishna consciousness movement on the plea of looking for business. Srila Prabhupada said that he himself had lived independently in Grihastha life and so had Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but our aim was different, he said. When these neophytes remain aloof from the temple connection without attending the functions, gradually they will be lost. Tamal Krishna replied that for that very reason he had suggested to Abhiram that he make his business in Bombay. Actually, said Tamal Krishna, I find the Grihasthas have no desire to live independent of the temples. He explained that in the Bombay temple, the Grihasthas could get apartments near enough to the temple so they could attend the Mangal Arati, and other functions. Yes, said Srila Prabhupada. Unless these things are continued, the Karmi's poison will spoil them. He can do independent business, there is no harm, but he must be connected with devotional service. Srila Prabhupada had not moved his body while talking, but he had turned his head slightly. Now he laid his head on the pillow. Just like Abhiram constructed that house, Prabhupada continued, that's all right. It is within the campus. There is no harm. But if now he goes away after so much training and advancement, if they are lost, then that's a great loss for the society. With great difficulty, we make one Vaishnava. And again, if he goes, like Shamasundara, then it is a great loss. The whole idea is to give up attachment for the material world and increase attachment for Krishna. I'll repeat, the whole idea is to give up attachment for the material world and increase attachment for Krishna. That is perfection. Now, according to one's position, it can be done gradually, but this is the aim. Srila Prabhupada told Abhiram that by doing a business in Bombay, he could benefit by living near the temple. Grihasthas should not be dependent on the society, he said. At the same time, they should not be independent of the society. Srila Prabhupada laughed at the apparent contradiction. This is the position, he said. Our society cannot take charge of a family. There'll be so many so many numbers of families. How we will support? At the same time, if they remain independent of the society without touch, then the karmi's poison will infect them. Srila Prabhupada concluded that the solution for the Grahastha was either to get an apartment near the temple or to live in the temple if possible. They should not live completely independent, he said. That will be future danger. Srila Prabhupada said he wanted ideal Krishna conscious Grihasthas. Just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said, there are many. I was Grihastha also. There was deity worship, everything nice. I was publishing back to Godhead as Grihastha. So the aim of Krishna consciousness was there. I could not leave family life because of certain circumstances. That is a different thing. But I must be in touch with devotional service as in the temple. If you live nearby the temple, it is easier, or in the temple. But if he remains aloof, that is dangerous. When Tamal Krishna brought up some problematic details of Grihasthas living in the temple buildings, Srila Prabhupada stayed to his main point and said, anyway, these things have to be adjusted. You cannot follow very rigidly in the case of Grihasthas. Somehow you have to adjust. We cannot allow them to be lost. Prabhupada saw with alarm that after much training, a Grihastha couple could be lost simply because they dissociated themselves from the temple. It would be a great loss, and in an attempt to avoid it, he was instructing one of his GBC representatives. Prabhupada said, unless this danger was curbed, then the future of our society becomes hopeless. Srila Prabhupada's servant Upendra was also present, and he asked Prabhupada about a man's responsibility to maintain his wife and family. A man should not marry, said Prabhupada, unless he had the power of maintaining his family. He should not expect the temple to. Why should we maintain a grihastha? And Srila Prabhupada, and where is the means? But these things are all to be adjusted. I can give you the idea. Then Prabhupada gave the example that if a grihastha was maintaining the deity worship gorgeously in the temple, that was also preaching, and that the temple could consider maintaining such a man's family. So the guiding principle, said Tamal Krishna, should be that under no circumstances should anyone become lost. Yes, said Prabhupada. Or else, where is the preaching? It'll be like Alexander the Great. He was conquering, but as soon as he went to conquer a new place, the last place was lost. Suppose I have conquered Bombay, then I go to Karachi, but in the meantime, Bombay is lost. That was being done by Alexander the Great. When there is no proper management, just like the British Empire was lost in that way, they could not manage. So, similarly, we should not expand too quickly, suggested Tamal Krishna, unless we have the proper management. I am therefore stressing book selling, said Prabhupada. He wanted to impress upon his leaders the main outlines of his programs, and it should be their duty to carry these programs out. At least don't make me Alexander the Great in my lifetime, he laughed. They say to me, you are great, 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 but don't make it small while I am living. Or after, said Tamal Krishna, we will never make you that way. We should never do that. Then, after Prabhupada, then said Prabhupada, that's my request. People recognize I'm great. Don't make me small. I will not give you much trouble, but I'm now invalid. What can I do? It seems like even if you're invalid, said Tamal Krishna, it gives us more opportunity to serve you. Thank you, said Prabhupada. What can I do? He laughed softly and said, I have to give you that opportunity. It seems that it is your mercy to us, said Tamal Krishna. All right, go on, said Prabhupada, dismissing them. Jai Prabhupada, thank you for all your merciful instructions. Adiguru Prabhu, it's 6:17. Shall I continue? It's the natural stop to July 22nd. Madan Prabhu, maybe you can guide.
Probably continue until like 27 or 20, 25, 27, 625.
Okay, Prabhu. July 22. In the morning, Tamal Krishna told Prabhupada that on the following day, Lord Jagannath would travel down Fifth Avenue in New York City. Lord Jagannath is very kind to the Malechas. Prabhupada said, Oriens are mostly Manechas, but still they are made pujaris. One devotee criticized an Orien, and Lord Chaitanya slapped him. Why do you criticize my servants? Just see his kindness. I prayed to Krishna. Anyone who has given a little service, please bless him. And Krishna actually does. He doesn't forget any service done. Tamal Krishna inquired, doesn't Radharani also pray like that to Krishna? Yes, said Prabhupada. Radharani says, I am not sincere. Here is your real servant. That is Mahabhava. Krishna becomes a servant to his servant. Therefore, a disciple's first duty is to be submissive to his guru. Srila Prabhupada said Tamal Krishna, all your devotees are very much grateful to you. Srila Prabhupada suddenly became immersed in thoughts of his devotees, and he became very ecstatic. Closing his eyes and rocking his head, he spoke with choked voice and tears. Oh, your intense love for me. I am living for you. All over the world, everything is going on. Money is coming and being spent, and I don't have to worry. I am so much indebted, and I am taking so much service from you all. It is we who are indebted, said Tamal Krishna. There is no way we can ever pay this debt to you, Srila Prabhupada. That is a Brihad Mridanga. And Prabhupada, I am beating from this room and the sound goes 10,000 miles away. Our enemies are surprised how this man is still going on. Srila Prabhupada went on appreciating how people in so many cities were enjoying the Rath Yatra festivals, seeing Lord Jagannath and dancing and chanting. He remembered past Rath Yatras, such as in 1969 in San Francisco, when some of the devotees were dancing joyously around a tree. He began recalling many other past wonderful experiences in ISKCON. Towards the end of July, Prabhupada's health seemed to be worsening again, and again he mentioned that the end might come at any moment. Tamal Krishna had been acting as Srila Prabhupada's personal secretary for 6 continuous months, and he had become Prabhupada's eyes and ears and his spokesman, especially in dealing with ISKCON management. And he had also become a personal confidant, assisting Srila Prabhupada in his transcendental moods. As a sincere servant, he now began suggesting a different remedy. Srila Prabhupada had recently been feeling and expressing intense devotion towards his disciples in their preaching. Taking this as a cue, Tamal Krishna suggested that if Prabhupada could travel to the West and be with his disciples there, he would find new life. But if I die, said Prabhupada, I want to do so in Vrindavan. Tamal Krishna replied that Srila Prabhupada should not think of dying. If he would go on a tour of the West, see the devotees there, take prasadam made from food grown on the ISKCON farms, then certainly he would respond to such devotion and regain his appetite and strength. Tamal Krishna pointed out that when Srila Prabhupada had been feeling like this in May and the GBC had come, he had responded to the reciprocation of love by increasing his own desire to live. One thing you can do, said Srila Prabhupada, in your daily routine, you can pray to Krishna. If you want him to stay, please cure him, and if not, please take him away. We are fully surrendered to you. Now it depends on your desire to keep him alive or let him leave this world. Srila Prabhupada was pointing out that he was not a victim of some mundane moroseness, robbing him of a will to live. He had already said that he would be with Krishna in any case. Staying in this world or leaving it was not up to him but up to Krishna. He recited the prayer of King Kulashekara from the Mukundamala Sutra. My dear Krishna, please let me die immediately so that the swan of my mind can be encircled by the stem of your lotus feet. Now, while I am still strong, otherwise, at the time of my final breath, when my throat is choked up, how will it be possible to think of you? Tamal Krishna persisted in his affectionate line, however, insisting that Srila Prabhupada could not think of leaving. There was so much unfinished business for Prabhupada in this world, such as personally seeing to the installation of the deities of Rasavihari in the Bombay temple. Srila Prabhupada admitted it was so and added, another ambition I have is that the populace is suffering from agnosticism. The rascals are suffering, but they do not know why. I want to drive away agnosticism from the world. Tamal Krishna assured Srila Prabhupada that if he were to go to the West, agnosticism would be driven out. The devotees were already working hard on Srila Prabhupada's instruction, but if they could have his physical presence, they would increase their preaching unlimitedly. Tamal Krishna no longer kept himself only in a passive role, waiting for the spiritual master to ring the bell and waiting to hear what he wanted. Now he was trying to persuade Srila Prabhupada to travel, and as Prabhupada began to consider it, he became enthusiastic. When I am in Vrindavan, said Prabhupada, it is transcendental. That much mercy Krishna has shown me. And whenever there is our center, that is also Vaikuntha, New York, Los Angeles, Paris, or London. Tamal Krishna offered an itinerary, a visit to London, staying at the Bhaktivedanta Manor, and also seeing Radha Londoneshwara, then to New York and seeing the devotees in the ISKCON skyscraper with Radha Govinda, then to the farm in Pennsylvania, and then Los Angeles, where he could see the new dioramas of Krishna's pastimes. To remain in Vrindavan is a sentiment. Srila Prabhupada agreed. In New York, if I die, you will have to entomb me on the roof, he joked grimly. There is no other room. If I die, as long as I die among you, you're all Vaikuntha men. I had a dream that Vaikuntha men came to take me. They were all white men with shaven heads. Your countrymen cannot believe how you have changed. Srila Prabhupada said that they should consult an astrologer to see whether it was auspicious for him to travel and whether he would be cured and how long he would live. I was born in the evening at 4 p.m., said Srila Prabhupada. It was Nandotsava. You can consult an old Panjika to see the day. It was a Tuesday. I am prepared to go to the West. Tamal Krishna then quoted from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 37 when Krishna tells Arjuna to fight, either you will die and achieve the heavenly planets or conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Srila Prabhupada said the verse was appropriate. Throughout the night and the next day he considered the traveling proposal and mentioned to his other servants, Tamal is arranging a big party. I was praying to Krishna, what is this slow death? Prabhupada told Tamal Krishna. Then you quoted that verse. At least my disciples will know I came at the risk of my life. They are the future hope. I must enthuse them. Krishna ordered Arjuna and I am Arjuna's servant. I am so limited to think that this is my country. Everything is Krishna's. Why should I limit Krishna? Tamal Krishna gave encouragement. When you get there with so many devotees who are giving their lives for spreading Krishna consciousness and assisting you, it will really be enthusing and you won't have to speak so much. It is your presence, your seeing the devotees and then them seeing you. So, in that sense, it won't be exhausting. It's a good climate now to August in London. It's a very good time. Prabhupada turned to Upendra and said, his words are making me feel different. Just hearing, I became enthusiastic. Srila Prabhupada said, Tamal Krishna, by going west, I know you will recover. May Krishna fulfill your words, said Srila Prabhupada. He spent the rest of that afternoon hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita reading from various devotees. At one point, he began to express great bliss and said, read Chaitanya Charitamrita always to me, these three books. There is no comparison in the world. I may boast like this. I am fortunate to be able to present these books throughout the world and people are accepting them even blindly. So we'll take a pause here and keep a bookmark for Chaitanya Charitamrita, these three books. And I'll open so I can see everybody who's on. So, a beautiful reading today. I feel that it started off with saying how a grahastha should live close to the temple or be always involved in the activities of the temple, which I believe that ISKCON Cincinnati is continuing to do and propagate that sentiment of Prabhupada. But I felt that was a direct instruction from Srila Prabhupada to all the grahasthas, and I was kind of trying to imbibe that in my own life. I also was cherishing the sweet moments between Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, how he was as a childlike enthusiasm trying to encourage Prabhupada to kind of go to the West, and how Prabhupada said that I really chuckled on the fact that when he said, if he die, make a tomb for me on the skyscraper, because there would be no other land in New York. Um, Prabhupada has some very powerful moments with Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and I was thinking how close he was and how lucky he was. And I think, of course, ISKCON for the entire world had the blessings of Tamal Krishna Maharaj for a long time, but we still lost him early in the movement. I wish he was still here. Our own Guru Maharaj, Giriraj Maharaj, was very close to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and he has a very special bond with him. I think this is powerful reading today, and I would love to hear from people like Anandani, Adi Guru, Pragya Mataji, Meenuji. Please share your reflections from today.
Hare Krishna.
Anandani's voice is sounding like a demigod almost.
I apologize. Hang on, let me leave this because Adi Guru has like three gadgets turned on, so that's the problem. Thank you so much for the reading today and leading all of us. In today's reading, I think Prabhupada 3 months ago when we were reading the pastimes there, Prabhupada was almost on the verge of going back to Godhead, and then he stayed back from the prayers of all the devotees worldwide. So now it feels like these next few months, November is when Prabhupada leaves, is basically Prabhupada reciprocating with his devotees exclusively. And this is the rasa that Prabhupada had not demonstrated initially. He was the one who was basically telling them what to do and and showing them the right path, and now he's letting the devotees carry him. So this is such a beautiful time in the last few months that the disciples get to really show their love and their care for Prabhupada, and Prabhupada accepts it graciously and appreciates it. So that was my reflection. Very beautiful. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Anandani Prabhu. Madan Prabhu, are you able to say something? We have all been praying for your fast recovery, so maybe we want to hear your voice a little bit, if possible.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you first of all to you, Jerry Prabhu, Priya Radhika Mataji. It was wonderful recitation of Brahma Samhita, and Anandini, Gopika Mataji also yesterday. You all are continuing everything. That is what Prabhupada wanted, right? Like Krishna consciousness should never stop. So it doesn't matter. It's not an individual right? We are all in the service of Srila Prabhupada, so the service should go on no matter who is doing it. So I'm incredibly grateful to all of you. And yeah, I was telling Adi Guru Prabhu yesterday that I still have this drain from my neck, and all this bodily fluid that comes out is reminding me of that same verse that Prabhupada was saying, Kafavada Pitte. And I remember going into the OR. That was my final prayer before I felt unconscious of from Mukundamala Stotra, Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaj Panjarantam, which is one of the favorite prayers of Srila Prabhupada. So that was a prayer that I remember going in, and yeah, I was telling him how what Prabhupada has taught us is so true. If you just follow his instructions, everything. Because yeah, you remember what you remember, how you practice your life. That is where Prabhupada sees Krishna everywhere. And yeah, I couldn't say that, that is true, because when I woke up, first thing I got was darshan of Krishna. So yeah, that was like a practical experience of how what Prabhupada has taught us, each and every word is true. And today's reading demonstrates that, yeah, Prabhupada's love for his disciples, for his devotees, and the reciprocation of their love. That is a true love, eternal love. Everything else in this world is just mundane, but whatever we do, even a small, simple service that we do for Srila Prabhupada, he reciprocates. So yeah, thank you so much, Jai Prabhu, Adi Guru Prabhu and family, and all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madan Prabhu. I feel that, when I look at you, Meenakshi, Mohini, Harshika, and Vidya, I feel you're a perfect Grihastha family. You create Vaikuntha for us every morning, for all of us in Cincinnati. So you are living, in the temple in so many ways, and you keep our hearts in the temple so that we are online as well. I was really reflecting on those lines of Prabhupada, that how he said we should not let lose even one soul, because it takes so much to get a Vaishnava. So very, very important. Thank you, Madan Prabhu, and I hope you continue to recover fast and rapid, so you get back on your services soon. May Krishna bless you. Meenakshi, Mohini, you want to say something before we?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Just want to say I'm very, very grateful to everybody for all your prayers. I felt Prabhu's, the surgery went very smoothly and everything, the reports were excellent as we were expecting, the best case scenario. So thank you so much, everybody. I know you guys all prayed, and that's how, everything went well so smoothly, Prabhu. And great reflections from today's reading. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Meenakshi Mohini Mataji. Anybody else who would like to say some words before we end the call today, or people who want to chant, they can continue. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow morning. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for your services and your association.
Vanchakalparubhasya kripa sindhupa eva cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vinji.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.